Hey, welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel, you rascals. Appreciate you guys. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Tobin and Leroy Show coming at you weekdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on WQAM on the YouTube page. Appreciate all of you who subscribe. If you haven't, what are you waiting for, huh? Subscribe here, subscribe there. What's it cost you? How many subscriptions you have that cost you nothing? You got rights fees going up. You got holdouts with the worldwide leader. They're trying to say, oh, poor us. Oh, boo. No, F that. You subscribe here. Absolutely cost you nothing. You know, unless you want to, we could do one of them super chats. All right. I could give takes for tips. Anyway, thanks for checking us out here, guys. Miami Dolphins got game day uncensored. It'll come your way 4 hours before kickoff against the Buffalo Bills. I was on with our affiliate today in what is it, Western New York? Is that what they consider Buffalo? And I'm like, I don't even know why you guys want me on. You know, like for the love of God, like, and they just like, am I here just for you guys to drink my tears? So the Dolphins getting set for Buffalo, obviously a team they never beat. The last game was pretty close until just laughable mistakes at the end from my guy Zach Sealer it on up, and Tua's terrible interception. And that was all she wrote. The Dolphins are going to try and change that this week, and here's how they're going to do it. Get ready, everybody. The Papa shot is gone. It is out of the locker room. No more shooting basketballs into a Papa shot for this football team, because this, by George, is why they are committed to winning. Papa shot, hit the bricks, dude. Out of here. The Dolphins also got rid of their card tables. Huzzah. Like, that's what's going to get it done. I also like that I think I saw something today from Jordan Brooks where it was like he would not comment on it. It's like, not comment on it. And then Benito Jones claimed that it was a player's decision, that the Papa shot was gone, that it was no more. The players decided to remove it, turn their full attention to the remaining games, because that's what's going to get it done. Do you think that's the way it really goes, or do you think when Mike McDaniel meets with the captains is like, you guys really think you should have that Papa shot in here? You think you should really have this? This is a whole thing years back with the ping pong tables, right? Like, oh, the ping pong tables are gone. This just happened with the Ravens, I believe, too. They got rid of their ping pong tables. Really shows you that, you know, we're really buckling down on football. It's not in any way the dumbest thing you've ever heard. So the Dolphins are going to be laser focused when they get their butts kicked by Buffalo this week, apparently. I mean, at least that's what I think is going to happen. Even if it's not an ass kicking, it's likely going to be a lot. They don't beat this team, and it would be the Dolphins. I mean, if you want to talk about that, so Dolphins, it would be the Dolphins to go and win the Bills game when there are just no juice, no stakes to it whatsoever. I guess in some ways you could put some spoiler on them and be like, hey, well, now you guys got a real chase on your hands for the Patriots. So it's not that it won't feel good for the Dolphin fan, but I don't know, man. It's pretty wild. Like Mike McDaniel this week hitting that podium, and just like when you think this guy cannot get more mind-numbingly just droning with his words, he's just got more doozies to throw up there about, like, oh, they beat us because they scored more points than us, and and they did more things to not lose the football game. It's like, really appreciate the breakdown there with all of this. Just top notch. Really, just a huge victory there for your Miami Dolphins. It just feels like it. The other thing that was weird about this whole thing, I don't know if you guys saw this week, but I'm sure you did, where they were talking about the trade deadline. I think it was Jeremy Fowler and Dan Graziano, and they were talking about the whole Jalen Waddle thing, and the Dolphins wanted a first-round pick. And by the way, I agree with the Dolphins in that don't trade Jalen Waddle unless somebody knocks your socks off for Jalen Waddle. You know, like, Bradley Chubb probably should have found a way to get rid of him. Minka Fitzpatrick, does he want to be here? What's the point? but like Waddle and Achane and like no, those are guys unless somebody just comes to the table like with what the Jets got, like a knock you back offer, and you're just like, whoa, we got to take that. Then okay, then you're in a spot where you got to make the deal and you got to make things happen. But their report was that like after dealing with the Miami Dolphins, everybody, and this was just hilarious. It's just like the impression everybody was left with was we don't know what they're doing over there. Like, and I couldn't help but laugh when I heard that because it's like, yeah, neither do we. None of us here know what they're doing either. We sit here and we just guess every single. We're just like, this is what they're up to, and it's like right now they're in a position where Chris Grier finally got gone because he didn't want to make trade calls, apparently. They let Champ Kelly take the reins for the deadline for like a whole 48 hours. He gets the Jalen Phillips deal done, probably the easiest one to make happen. And that was it. And Mike McDaniel was sitting here being like, yeah, I was in trade talks too. And it's just like, what? He's in trade talks? And this is genuinely something that I am worried about with this franchise going forward. And it really is the idea of like, I know that there was the report that came out from Armando Salguero, who certainly covered the Dolphins for a long time and has, I'm sure, intel on this, that unless Mike McDaniel really turns it around, he's as good as gone. And that's one opinion. But I also have the past, which is Stephen Ross, and this just propensity to always keep a familiar face around. Like he doesn't know how to make a clean break. And I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to. I don't know if that's because he doesn't want to be left on this island. I don't know if it's because he doesn't know who to even turn to. I think part of it is he doesn't know who to turn to, right? I think part of it is that he just doesn't want to be left on this island with not knowing anybody, right? Like I don't think he wants to be in this place where he's like, I don't have anybody to turn to. And the other guys that he's had, it's blown up in his face. Peyton, Harbaugh, Brady. So now he's at this spot where like, all right, his old trusty sidekick, Chris Grier, is no longer there. Is he really just going to be cold turkey out with everybody? Or does he just think like, nah, McDaniel's the genius? Because these things are always a survival battle, right? I thought for sure that Chris Grier was going to win because Chris Grier always wins the power struggle. He always wins the survival. So I was just going by history. And that Mike McDaniel was going to lose out and Chris Grier would be on to picking his next coach. Or at least like relinquishing to even if it was Champ Kelly. And then Kelly could pick his next coach, right? But instead, Stephen Ross okey-doked, and he was like, nah, I'm finally getting rid or mutually parting with Chris Grier. And now you're left in this spot with McDaniel, and you're like, okay, do you have input on personnel now? Like, do you have this say on where the Dolphins are going to go? And I think history would show you, like, Stephen Ross can kind of be swayed by this stuff, right? And if Mike McDaniel at least presents him with, we got a new guy picking our alignment, old Champ over here instead of Chris Grier. He tells Champ Kelly, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. A couple of intellects. What was Champ Kelly? He did the IBM stuff, and they figure this thing out and like, hey, we're in this thing for the long haul. New tandem, all right? McCochin and Champ here to stay. There's part of me that's like, yeah, Mike McDaniel's going to stick around, and I just don't think there's a recipe for success because I don't think that one of the problems with the Dolphins is the way that this roster was constructed. And I do think that it was constructed, yes, with the poor decision-making of Chris Grier, but also with the philosophies of Mike McDaniel. And I just don't know if that is conducive to building a winning roster anymore. If you don't have like these uber superstar fast guys, no more Tyreek Hill, what do you do? And it's just a weird spot that everybody's in right now. It's a weird spot with him. It's a weird spot with the quarterback. Tua this week's asked about playing for his job, and he didn't really take the cheese on that, so I respect it. Finally, Tua was asked a pointed question. It didn't turn into more controversy. Thank you. Jeez. Finally, we got through one of those weeks. But yeah, I mean, the Dolphins going into this game with even just the injuries they seen like that, with no Chop Robinson, no Rasul Douglas, no D. Eskridge in the return game, who's been solid there. And then on top of it, yeah, you don't have you traded Jalen Phillips. Like, none of this makes you feel great about being able to stop Josh Allen and his parade of giant tight ends. Like, I know they got some guys banged up on the pass rushing side themselves, with Epinesa hasn't practiced and Joey Bosa's a little bit banged up. But man, you also just got to worry about that mental edge. And it just feels like Buffalo is just so far and away ahead of the Dolphins with all of that stuff. I just don't know that I got a lot of faith that they can get this thing done against the Bills.